So this is a live recording of my podcast, JDUB and Friends. This is actually episode 15 with Madman here. And we tried to do it on my laptop, recording it through the um, yeah, basic recording I always do. But for some odd reason, my computer didn't want to do it, so I'm doing it through Twitch tonight. Now, if you never watched one of my podcasts before, this is I usually have a guest because this is JDub and Friends. So I'm JDub. My friends, whoever else is the guest. Tonight's Madman. But before we get started, I'm going to announce two things. One, Matthew Perry actually passed away today. He was from Friends, Chandler Bing. So RIP to him. And also, Madman here is getting over a really nasty cold. So if there's any coughing or anything like that, that's why. But other than that, how are you tonight, Madman?
Doing all right.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah. Yeah, just
Um,
a bad joke, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah. See, look, leads right into an actual cough. no, so I was actually trying to get through most of questions. We actually got through all the questions, and then we're talking about the next part. And then I heard the significant ding, like, "Hey, you're out of space," even though I'm not. But whatever. So I'm actually going to start with the 5 questions I always start with every podcast with, and we're going to start from scratch tonight. So I'm sorry that I have to redo all these, but it is what it is. So this is a live podcast. Like I said, everything, anything, any issues, I'll find out later. Uh, but my first question for you, Madman, is what is the worst pay-per-view name that WWE has come up with?
Okay, specifically just for WWE.
Yep.
Oh boy, that's pretty tough. Because now I'm trying to remember all the pay-per-view events, mainly just because I didn't watch a lot of them when I was younger because
Hmm.
didn't have the pay-per-view box and all that fun stuff.
Right.
I'm just trying to remember pay-per-view names because I'm now thinking of all the old WWE games I played. So I'm trying to think of the titles of all the pay-per-view events. I'm like, oh man,
Yeah.
because like for example, ladies and gentlemen, Judgment Day used to be a pay-per-view event, and now it's a title of a faction.
Yeah. Yep.
And now I'm trying to figure out. Okay.
Yeah, I always thought Taboo Tuesday was such a terrible name.
Oh my god, I forgot about it. And then wasn't there like a Cyber Monday or a Cyber one,
Yeah.
or am I just
Yeah, there was Cyber, I forget what it was, Cyber Sunday. I think that's what it was. But that was yeah,
Nah, I think I'm gonna go with you on that one. Taboo Tuesday just sounds weird. It's like, what are you guys doing on there?
right. All right. Now, what is the best faction of all time? Evolution, Wyatt Family, or NWO?
Damn, that's another tough one because I was gonna say D-Generation X would definitely be that
You
faction.
could, yeah, you could throw D Generation X in there.
Yeah, especially. I mean, they're still around to this day. It's just funny because D-Generation X is technically running
Mhm.
WWE before they were rebelling against it, and now they are the ones who own it in a
Yeah,
way. So
very
yeah, I gotta
true.
go with D-Generation X.
Okay. My next question. Who does the best spear? Roman Reigns, Goldberg, or Rhino? Even though Rhino's discarded the gore, it's the same thing.
It's yeah, especially since he was also been around since CCW. Uh,
It just
damn.
looks too soft.
That's tough because I mean, even just thinking of all three of them, but also at the same time, Goldberg definitely did a great job with the spear,
Hmm.
as well as also, I mean, Roman Reigns' spear when it hits, it's pretty bad. But now everybody's doing spear, which
Yeah.
hmm, even Edge did an amazing spear too. Yeesh.
Yep.
Damn, that's tough. I I can't even think of it. Damn, can't even think of it. Yeesh. I'm looking like an idiot right now. Hmm. because it's like I want to give it to Goldberg, but also historically, I mean, I
Mhm.
know it was WCW, but also, I mean, he hurt a lot of people too. I mean, he kind of ended Brett's career too, which sucks.
Yeah.
Which,
Well, I mean, at that point too, I think Brett, in that same match, hit his head on the concrete floor before that spear even took place. So I think he just got back-to-back concussions, but the you know second one with Goldberg kind of is the one they blame it on.
hmm, hmm, hmm.
But
So that's just the thing. It's like, damn, both of them.
yeah.
At the same time as I don't want to say my disliking towards Roman Reigns,
Mm.
because I'm looking at this as also I'm gonna give it to Goldberg just because Goldberg clearly, yeah, even though Roman Reigns did beat Goldberg, no, Goldberg when he did a spear, it was like getting hit by a Mack truck.
Yeah, understandable. Um, Now, if you were to get a general manager for one of your shows, like any, like let's say you had your own company, you started your own company, you had to choose a GM for your Monday night show or your Friday night show or whatever. Uh, Out of these five, who would you pick? Tony
All
Khan,
right. Mm,
Eric Bischoff,
mm,
Paul Heyman,
mm,
Shane McMahon,
hmm.
or Teddy Long.
Ooh, I gotta go with Teddy Long. Teddy Long was one of the best
Okay.
general managers I ever saw on SmackDown. He was one of my favorites because I mean he treated everybody with respect. He gave everybody a fair shot. I mean, okay, maybe he favored the Undertaker a couple times, but you know what? I
Yeah.
gotta go with Teddy Long, especially when he spoke. Everybody listened, but everybody was happy. Every other GM on
Mhm.
there, I don't know, but yeah, Teddy Long, he was definitely my favorite.
Okay.
Especially just always respect for him because he did a lot of awesome work. Huh, holla holla, playa.
All right. If you had to create a announcement team of anybody, let's say WCW had Tony Schiavone and oh my goodness, why can't think of that? Oh my goodness, yeah, Teve. I can't think of his last name. But yeah, it was him, Tony Schiavone, them, JR and King on WWE, obviously, and then Michael Cole now, and then in AEW have Cole or not Cole, JR, Tony Schiavone, and Taz. If you had to choose a announce team to announce your show, who would you choose?
I mean, there's nothing. I mean, JR and the King will always be iconic, but I also grew up with Michael Cole and Taz.
Hmm.
I don't know. That's gonna be pretty tough to choose between those two. Man,
Yeah.
I'm literally putting SmackDown and Raw against each other.
Hmm.
Which right now, with how the shows are being run, I think SmackDown versus Raw is coming back.
Yeah, definitely. With the way all this is, what all this has been doing, I like how they've been pushing that envelope.
I mean, hell, even Adam, the
Hmm.
former GM, he even when he was being escorted off the property, he kind of went, "Well, let the games begin." I'm like, there it is, right there. We're going back to SmackDown versus Raw.
Yep. Eventually, we'll have William Regal come back and he'll say War Games.
D- unless Tony Khan bodges that deal.
Yeah. Well, actually, William Regal's left AEW, so
Hmm.
yeah, he left. I think a couple months after he was signed. But
Does that?
speaking of, good,
Does, I was about to say, does that mean Blood and Guts is going to come with us?
right? But speaking of AEW, now, do you think they're in trouble? I know that's kind of a random question to ask a lot of people, but AEW tonight had over 3,100 viewers for their Collision show tonight, live in the arena. Uh, for even though their big match tonight was MJF and Kenny Omega, which is a pretty good match. Do you think they are in trouble? Because I mean, I don't know if you've seen some of the Twitter page or Twitter shots that people have done where half the arena is empty. Do you think it's their storylines are in trouble? You think they're in trouble, or you think it's just kind of a bump in the road right now?
Um, yeah, especially since they're when they did their version of WrestleMania in London. I mean,
Mhm.
that was a sold out show, and now they're hitting all this. It could just be right now just a bump in the road because, but yeah, if it continues to go like this for like a whole nother season, then yeah, I would say AEW is going to be in trouble unless somebody wants to buy them out or something.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I don't know because I mean AEW has had their fair share of hits here and there, but they usually find a way to get around it or they just bring something else in. But for the time being, it's just I think it's
Right.
just a little bit of rough patch right now, but who knows what
Mhm.
the future could hold. I mean, all I can say is just because as a person who's just mainly more loyal to WWE than AEW,
Mhm.
AEW is hitting a rough patch, and who knows? As long as they just keep moving forward, trying to work together, who knows? Maybe they can get out of it, or they might have to put a for sale sign up.
Right. Now, do you think AEW exploded too far, too, or like exploding their three shows too quick?
Yeah, that is the kind of thing. That is the thing. AEW did kind of went a little too crazy. I mean, having two shows like the Dynamite and Rampage, that was good
Mhm.
with the pay-per-view events, but yeah, definitely going a little crazy with like too many shows. That was definitely I mean, I can understand they were trying to like expand so they
Mhm.
can match competitors, show them that they're not just some minor idea or anything, but still, I think they kind of yeah, they may have gone a little too hard too fast.
Now, do you see what'd you think of the Edge signing? Because that was kind of a big signing for them.
Well, Edge did say he kind of wanted to like help train as well as also bring more people into AEW. So
Mhm.
because I think Edge is now at the point where he's like, yeah, I still want to wrestle once in a while, but I still want to, do like he's kind of like in that transition point where he's going from the ring to the back
Mhm.
offices to be like, I want to help people, I want to make them great, I really want to make this good. And he's like, I'm in an area where I can definitely show what I can do. And so I would definitely want to see Adam do some awesome work because
Mhm.
originally like even with originally when Edge pitched Judgment Day, the betrayal wasn't supposed to happen for a full another year, as
Yeah.
Edge said in interviews. Like, yeah, we were supposed to do a whole year of like working together and everything, and then there was going to be an ultimate betrayal. But then creative team was like, no, you're going to have it happen next week, and he's just like, damn,
Yeah.
that sucks.
I know he said that it was based on because they didn't want to boo him because he's been around for so long and he had been not able to wrestle because of his neck, and then when he finally gets his neck back, they're not going to boo somebody that is trying to you know come back in the ring and everything like that. Another question I have for you about AEW is: do you think they've signed too many ex WWE superstars now? I mean, at first I understood, Chris Jericho, Moxley, obviously Cody Rhodes, but he was kind of one of the people that created it. But do you think now they've kind of pushed the limit of too many WWE stars and not enough AEW stars?
Uh, I mean, yes, it did bring on a lot of stars at once, but they did make big names for themselves as well as I'm pretty sure gave them probably a bigger not bigger budget, bigger cut, as
Mhm.
well as also more freedom. I mean, that's what AEW does is just they sometimes give wrestlers more freedom for what they want to do with their characters. Like instead of just having a persona or something forced on them, they're just like,
Mhm.
no, you can do what you want as long as you use it well. You don't turn into an ass unless we tell you to become an ass.
Mhm.
Because but then again, no one's ever going to beat MJF in that department. He's fucking selling it.
Yeah.
Would I love to
No.
see MJF in WWE? Oh, I would fucking love to see that. I would love to see that just because he wouldn't join any faction. He would be the faction. He'd just be like, I'm just gonna be me, and he
Yeah.
does it so well as hell. Even to the point in the AEW game, Fight
Mhm.
Forever, when you are fighting him, he literally acts like in the game as if he was in the ring. There's been times where I flipped him, and he's like, ah! I just hear like them just like I'm just like, really, dude, you're really making this noise right now?
Right. Now, as AEW, I mean, I've watched a little bit AEW, not as much as obviously it's WWE, WCW, TNA. Growing up, I've caught parts of the matches, but I mean, like when I was watching WCW back in the day, what happened was a lot of the wrestlers made their own creative, like kind of did whatever they wanted to do type thing. And that kind of may have been one of their downfalls because they kind of just ran the asylum at some points. Like Kevin Nash was one of the bookers. Do you feel like AEW lets the wrestlers run rampant too much and doesn't give them more of a set creative, or do you think it actually doesn't really affect what's going on?
Well, creativity can work both ways. One of them can be it can give someone, a chance to try something new
Hmm.
and really sell it, or B, oh, God for the mute, thank God for the mute button.
Right.
But yes, with creativity, it allows you to have a lot of time to play with, create your own stuff, really show like, oh, this is awesome. And sometimes when you try it out, you're like, that may not have worked out too well. But then there's
Hmm.
some people are like, ah, it's fine. It's just like, no, it's not fine. But sometimes, but I would just say sometimes, as long as there's like, it's you create it, but if there's times where you're open to taking feedback and hearing criticisms, as long as it's really constructed well, not just saying, oh, it sucks. It's like,
Right.
yeah, but that's well, what about it? Is it this, that? It's like, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Hell, that can be applied to any field of creativity, to be honest. Like, for example, like with streaming itself, it's like people, unless you tell us what you want or what style you want, we won't know and we won't make changes.
Hmm. Definitely. Yeah, I feel like they definitely have to make some changes in the future. I mean, a lot of people say, yeah, their pay-per-view and their TV deals are what's going to keep them alive, but it's like at that point though, you're not selling tickets for shows themselves. At one point, as Eric Bischoff said in his 83 weeks at one point, that you want to make it seem like the live crowd is actually there for that, and makes you want to go to the live crowd, actually buy the pay-per-views and stuff like that. So if AEW starts having the issue where they're not able to, um, start selling those tickets like that, not many people are going to want to buy the pay-per-view because they see that, so and so is not having fun, or something's going on in the background. So we'll see what happens with that. But I feel like if they go head to head right now, I mean, like actually head to head instead of doing what they're doing now, where it's kind of, eight or was it Rampage comes on after SmackDown, and then Dynamite's on Tuesday nights, not facing Raw or NXT. Um, I still don't think that they would compete against WWE. I mean, the last people that really, really compete against WWE was WCW. Eric Bischoff in charge because they beat them for 83 weeks straight.
Mm-mm.
But I don't know. I see like with having that like going against WWE at this point, I don't think it would be smart either. Because look what happened to TNA when they went against WWE. They you know kind of got destroyed the first couple weeks. They were on Monday night, then they went back to I think it was Thursday nights for them, or Friday. Yeah, Thursday nights, because I think SmackDown at that point moved to Friday, so they weren't competing with SmackDown anymore. Um, but do you think that they should compete with WWE, or you think it should just like leave it as is for now?
Mm. Honestly, I would just say, yeah, definitely don't take on WWE right now, especially since now that they have the merger, they have another company pretty much backing them up to a higher
Mm,
level. I would say right now, just for AEW, maybe just focus on your own stuff. Stop with trying to shooting your mouth off. Start
mhm.
working with other stuff. Uh,
Yeah,
I would say, like I said earlier, they're just going through a rough patch right now because I mean, clearly in London they did well, and then something
yeah,
just, I mean, okay, what happened with CM Punk and everything was, but that can pass, and hopefully everything else will play out as well.
right.
But who knows what the future can hold? Who knows? Maybe they'll sign some new talent that'll really take it to a whole nother level. One of my
Mhm.
other things I would have to say is just cut back on the belts a bit.
Yeah, yeah. There's art. They have their what? Their Ring of Honor belts. They have their AEW belts. They have their I'm sorry, I don't like the three team belts.
That was
Um.
that. I was kind of like, really? You have a tag team and now you got three. When you have Omega come out and he's got five belts around
Mhm,
him. He's one on his waist, one on each arm, one around his neck,
mhm,
and you got extra. I'm just like guys. This is a little overkill. I mean, I'm all for having like the Intercontinental U.S. tag teams. This
mhm.
a lot of that, but this is overkill. This is I could get a belt for literally just going to the bathroom, and trust me, I don't think that's a belt that should be ever in a wrestling organization. The
Right.
man who took the biggest dump.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. I don't know. I see in some ways that they just kind of are making some mistakes that WCW made. But I also don't think that Tony. Nothing against the guy. I mean, I don't know him personally, obviously. But I mean, at this point, you're kind of poking the bear, saying that you're competing with, or you want to beat WWE. It's like you're not directly competing with them. And the last time, last show you guys did it, and against NXT won by 300,000 viewers. So
But it's yeah, but at
at
the
that,
same time, WWE kind of got a little petty there too. I mean, they put The
oh yeah,
Undertaker on NXT, they put John Cena, Paul Heyman. They brought
mhm,
up every major star they had at NXT. It's just like,
right,
I mean, even the Undertaker, which I was like, really, we're bringing the Taker back for this night? I'm like, dude, that's a little overkill. I mean, like, I understand, I'm all for friendly competition, but
yeah,
let's not go full. Just
mm,
yeesh.
right. But I mean, if let's say that it wasn't NXT, it was Raw. Would AEW be able to beat Raw at that point too? Because I mean, look at the talent on Raw right now. I mean, you got them. You got SmackDown has the Bloodline. SmackDown has what LA Knight, who's probably the most over wrestler in wrestling right now. He's getting those Stone Cold Steve Austin pops from the '90s right now. I mean, he's just that far over. Um, but I know. I guess we'll see in the next few weeks, months. Speaking of the next few weeks or months, what do you think the chances are that CM Punk is returning to WWE?
Oh man. It's like I'm really, really kind of in a weird spot here because it's like one, I stopped watching wrestling mainly because of work and scheduling.
Hmm.
Right around the time where CM Punk actually started showing up, so I missed him. And then around the time I got back into wrestling, he showed back up at AEW, which I thought was
Hmm.
cool. And then we stopped watching AEW, so that meant I missed CM Punk. So it's
Right.
kind of like I want to see him wrestle because I do for some reason why I like the guy because he's just like he is a guy who's just like he sees through bullshit. He's a guy who definitely, if you get in his face, he won't back down. But at the same time, this is a guy who's always putting him in positions where he's like, I win or I walk. So it's just,
Hmm.
but at the same time, it's like, do I want to see him back in WWE? That would be pretty cool, especially since I mean,
Hmm.
come on, Survivor Series is in Chicago, Illinois.
Yep.
Seeing CM Punk show up at Survivor Series would just be a massive pop, especially since I mean,
Yeah.
when CM Punk first did show up on AEW on Rampage was in his hometown and everybody went nuts. And I mean, it was just
Definitely.
so plus I would love to see what he would do in the WWE. I mean, first of all, Triple H would probably have him on an extremely short leash, especially since historically Vince McMahon hates CM Punk, not to mention also Triple H doesn't like CM Punk.
Hmm.
So it would just be like a whole like that's the other thing. It's just like, would they bring him back? Because I mean, you have a person who's in charge of creativity, you have a person who's on the like council or whatever TKO the merger is
Hmm.
doing. So can they even bring him back? Like, can they even truly bring him back? Because in the end of the day, the actual parent company is the one who's probably going to make the call.
Yeah. I mean, right at this point, I don't think Vince really has much say anymore. I think they were saying that he is either going to be forced out of his position because of all the negative stuff coming out about him, or B, he's just going to retire in his own way. But um, overall, though, he doesn't really have choice over the creative. I don't think he gets to choose who WWE signs. I think that's all up to Triple H and people, Khan and all them, Nick Khan. But I could see because CM Punk was actually backstage at, I think it was Raw when he was still signed to AEW at one point, seeing
Mm-mm.
some of his buddies. But makes me wonder if maybe at that point Triple H and him kind of, um, killed the, mood. Not really mood. What's the word I'm looking for? Killed the
The vibe.
the issues they had between each other.
Yeah, I do
S-
remember hearing that, but at least CM Punk actually like left peacefully. He was just like,
Mhm.
"Okay, I'm leaving." So it wasn't like he flab just like decked him or fought anybody. He
Right.
was just like, all right, I'm out,"
Yeah.
and he left peacefully.
Yeah, and WWE I think at this point too is also like where CM Punk in AEW had other people I think that were that he was like you haven't been in the wrestling company long enough like Jack Perry, or you want to do all this stuff. but then they go off. If they went off script, then he's not used to that probably either. I mean, he went off script a lot, but he's set up in the ways. But like in WWE, he wouldn't be able to get away with stuff that he's done before, and nobody else would be able to get a lot away with a lot of stuff because of the way they have it set up. But I think that actually helps out CM Punk, and you don't hear as much drama in the WWE because they actually have it set up where it's like, hey, this is what we want you to kind of say and run with, but if you're gonna go off script, at least tell the other person what's going on. But
Mm-hmm.
speaking of other wrestlers that are either coming to WWE or came to WWE, what have you thought of what WWE has done with the whole Jade Cargill thing, where they just have her popping up randomly?
J Cart in WWE. J Cart. Yeah.
Yeah. She just showed up on, or she showed up on NXT so far. She showed up on Raw, face to face with um,
Oh,
oh, I
Jade.
can't.
All right, all right.
Yeah, yeah,
I think I know. Index. No, not Index.
yeah. She was.
Um, I have seen her. Like it was a blackout match when Raw came to
Mhm,
Buffalo.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, she's
I
been.
thought
Oh,
she's
go
done
ahead.
all right.
Mhm,
She's done all right. She can actually hold her ground pretty well. She can actually sell. She can do a show.
mhm.
Honestly, I'm surprised they're not using her more.
Yeah, I know that they've at least kind of made it seem like she's going to be on E3 because she's come to face with Becky Lynch so far. She's come face to face with Charlotte on SmackDown. I think they did something with her and Rhea Ripley. I don't remember, well, not Rhea Ripley. Forget who the other person was, but they've done kind of face to face. She hasn't really wrestled yet. Kind of just build her up, like, what's going to happen? Like, Becky Lynch was NXT champion, and then Kate Jade showed up and was like, we're gonna fight," and then I want that title, stuff like that. Becky told her get in line, which was a great line from Becky. But
Mm-mm.
I think that there's a lot going on there, and we'll see kind of where she's gonna land. But I think that she definitely fits in with that talent. I mean, I think they definitely could set up some wrestling matches for her with Rhea Ripley would be great. Charlotte Flair eventually, uh, Bianca Belair, Asuka. I mean, there's so much female talent on that side of wrestling that she could have a great match with anybody.
They'd
Um,
also they also got to give the women's wrestlers some more belts
mhm,
because there's like the tag team and then women's championship. It's just like
yeah,
maybe another U.S. title, maybe another some other variation
I
of
would.
intercontinental something.
Yeah, I would do like a women's TV title.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like instead of having WC where you have the TV title, I would go with women's TV title, just kind of one that's always kind of there, but it's like a step between, right below the women's championship. But I don't know. Somebody else that actually just showed up in WWE was Brian Pillman Jr. Now going by Alexis King. Did you see his first match at NXT?
I don't. We don't watch NXT mainly just because we focus on SmackDown and Raw.
Okay.
I Yeah, I don't have access to the. We just use my friend's app for watching the stuff.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, NXT is kind of out of my
Mhm.
league
Yeah.
or out of my show.
He actually just showed up. He was wrestling for AEW for a while. And obviously he's the son of Flying Brian Pillman, who was big in the WCW, and then when he came over to WWE, well, before he came over to WWE, he was also known as oh crap, Loose Cannon, um, Brian Pillman. So he's now they're trying to actually get him out of his dad. Well, they wanted the story now is that he's trying to get out of his dad's shadow, because he didn't know him because when Brian Pillman Jr. was 4 years old, that's when his dad died. He said so. They're kind of running that whole storyline now. If they, I think he can still be. I mean, a lot of people say he's been wrestling for 5 years. It's like, yeah, and he's getting up there in age. It's like, yeah, I understand that, but I think that he needs that developmental because I feel like in AEW right now they don't really have a great developmental um line up to AEW, I feel like NXT is going to help him a lot. He can move on to SmackDown, Raw, either one to kind of get through. But he's definitely one that I could see getting a big push in the future. Other than those two, I believe MJF. I think his is coming up next. Let's see. Let me double check there. Um, I think MJF's contract ends in 2024. Let's see. Yeah, ends in 2024. And right now he has on September 30th. He said he hadn't signed a new contract yet with them. Um,
Hmm.
could you see him jumping to WWE?
I Well, there has been talks that MJF would definitely want to be on WWE, and I can only imagine the chaos he would do on WWE as well. Because I
Mhm.
would love for him to, I would love to see Judgment Day try and recruit him, and he just flat out just tells him, "Now, why would I want to join in a group of losers when I can am myself?"
Right,
Because I know he would. I would love to see, because MJF, yes, he can be an asshole, but he can kind of also be an anti-hero too.
right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think they have enough talent over there too in AEW or WWE that with MJF, if they brought him over, that he could go a lot along with a lot of people. If they really wanted to, he could become, a head of a faction or something like that. I don't think they should. I think that's another issue with AEW that I should have brought up was they have too many factions. But I think that he's definitely talented enough to fit in. Um, but we'll see what happens. I guess if AEW can re-sign him. Another name that's making the rounds right now is Will Ospreay. Um, well, if you believe Meltzer, which he's been kind of hit or miss over the years, but Meltzer has said that that he's expected to sign with AEW, um, but there's still information that he is still free agent and he hasn't chosen anybody to sign with yet. So, do you see Osprey coming to WWE, or do you think he's going to sign with AEW?
I think he's gonna stick with AEW for a while because at one point Will Ospreay was offered a position with the WWE, but he chose to stick with New Japan. And I think honestly, Will Ospreay, I think not to shock, but I think WWE will probably be his like last
Mhm.
position before he like calls it or retires.
Right. Yeah, they got a he got a lot of talent. I know that they are starting a new NXT, I think NXT Europe now.
Now we're getting
Um
a European fan.
yeah, yeah, Europe NXT. It actually would actually help him out. Because because he still wants to wrestle in Europe if possible. He said he moved to the United States if he needed to, but I think NXT Europe would be one of those things where they could have, NXT War Games type thing where they have America versus, UK, America versus the world type setup there. But I mean, he's a really talented guy. I mean, personally, I mean, it'd be great to see him wrestle AJ Styles. It'd be great to see him wrestle Rey Mysterio. So much talent that a lot of these guys could wrestle. Other, let's see. Let's see, I'm just gonna look up stuff while we're doing this live. 2024. Um, other than so in 2024, besides MJF, like I said, Andrade, his contract is expiring in 2024. Brian Danielson, which I believe after his contract will expire, he'll be retiring. Ethan Page contract's expiring, and so is Keith Lee's. Uh, do you see any of them actually making the jump to WWE besides? Obviously, Brian Danielson probably won't because he's going to be retiring, but the other three names you see jumping back to WWE for Keith Lee, obviously, but
Hmm. I mean, that's gonna be tough
Andrade.
because well, Drag, I could definitely see going to the SmackDown or Raw because of his
Mhm.
level of his insanity.
Yeah.
Keith Lee, I mean, wasn't he at one point was in SmackDown or something?
Yep. He become Bearcat Keith Lee but that was when Vince McMahon was in charge. In NXT, he was doing great with Triple H, so that might pull him toward WWE. But we'll see.
Exactly.
Andrade,
It's just like, oh, sorry.
yeah. No, no, no. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say with like if kids, who knows? Maybe Keith Lee, now that he knows Triple H is in charge, maybe he'll go back and being like, now that I know that someone's actually sane in there.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, excuse me. Um, Andrade is actually I could see him join the LWO. Um, where he's in, even they could even make that into a little storyline where if they want to turn the group heel, have him face Rey Mysterio and then have the whole team or whole LWO team actually turn on Rey and have Andrade run it from there on. But we could see, I mean, him, Ethan Page. I I don't know about Ethan yet. He seems like he could be a talent that could make it in WWE, but don't know if they'll actually. Let me look at some stuff here. If they'll actually jump over. Excuse me. He kind of gives me what's the word I'm looking for? Johnny Gargano vibes. But right now, Johnny Gargano hasn't really been doing much in WWE at this point, which is kind of sad because the talent he has. But I think they're restarting DIY. I think what Triple H has been doing is breaking people down and then bringing them back up in a different way. So I think that's going to happen eventually. Now, other
Mhm.
than AEW, there's also talent in Impact that's going to be leaving pretty soon. Jonathan Gresham, Jay Vidal, Josh Alexander, who I definitely think if he doesn't re-sign with Impact or TNA now, actually, I think Josh Alexander is a definite for WWE. I think there's just so much talent he has. I think that WWE is gonna really push for him too. Uh, Kenny King is leaving Impact. He's not as big. I mean, he's decent. I don't think he's gonna move. Rich Swan. I think they could definitely run with him again. He was already once in the WWE, but he kind of fell off. But we'll see. New
Mhm.
Japan obviously has Tonga and Will Ospreay. Basically, are the only two leaving that are that are gonna be in 2024. So I know there's a lot of talent that could be leaving WWE. If you all want to know, AJ Styles expires next year. Depending on, we'll see what he does. I think he's going to stay with WWE. I don't think he's going to leave, go to AEW or Impact or anybody like that. The only other thing I can see is him retiring. Alexis Bliss, she's going to resign. Dawkins is going to resign. He's going to, because of what he's doing. Becky Lynch will definitely sign. Big E, I think Big E, what they're going to do with Big E, because I don't know if his neck's going to heal right, is they're going to eventually bring him back as a producer, kind of like what they've been doing with uh Kurt Angle's illegitimate son. I can't think of his name. Yep, that guy. Uh,
I'm sorry. I was just kind of like, I'm like, wait, Kurt, he had an illegitimate son. What?
yeah, storyline. Alpha Academy. Uh,
Oh, Chad Gable,
thank you. Yep, Chad Gable and Jordan. Yeah, Jordan, the other guy.
Otis.
Nope. Um, before Otis got there,
Oh,
they had another guy,
uh,
Jason Jordan.
uh, yeah. I was gonna say, I'm just thinking of the current Alpha Academy.
Yeah, Jason Jordan was originally part of that team, and he had some injuries, so he had to take the time off. And so yeah, I think Big E will become a producer, just like Jason Jordan did. Butch, I think they could move him to NXT Europe if they really wanted to. At the point, I mean, he's doing well on SmackDown, or on Raw and SmackDown. But we'll
Mhm.
see. Drew McIntyre. Drew is one of those that could see pop up in AEW. But I don't know. I feel like WWE is gonna start using him more as a heel, and I think
Oh
we'll
yeah,
see a lot more changes coming to them. Um, Kofi Kingston, it expires next year. He'll definitely be coming back to WWE. There's no way he's
oh yeah.
leaving.
Him as a yeah, him and Woods. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, Woods is expiring this next year too. He'll be back. LA Knight, he's definitely not leaving.
Oh no, that's the other thing too. Someone actually, uh, like a like a TikTok or it's probably on YouTube Shorts now. They showed
Mhm.
how like last year LA Knight was barely making any reactions or anything, and now look at him 1 year later, he is now one of the top dogs in the whole entire thing.
Yep. Montez Ford, he'll be back next year. He'll definitely his expires next, but I think he'll definitely be back.
Oh yeah,
Mustafa,
especially with him being a heel right now, is he's doing Street Profits as heels is an interesting technique to
yeah,
go with, but yeah, but yeah, Montez Ford or can really just do some amazing moves and sell too.
yeah, he's very talented. I think eventually they're gonna break up that. I hate to say it, but eventually they're gonna break up that team.
Mhm,
I think is actually gonna come with Bobby Lashley. I think what they're gonna do is start opening or start making Montez think like, hey, Bobby's gonna like be like, hey, you're a lot better, than Angelo Dawkins. But
mhm.
we'll see what happens. Mustafa Ali, I think, has already left, if I remember right. I think they were
Yeah.
granted his release.
Yep, from, yeah, right after the merger happened, not to mention
Yeah,
also, he was technically supposed to go up against Dominic Mysterio for the North American title, and I don't know if he was supposed to win or not, but literally he left right before the pay-per-view, so
yeah,
even Dominic was like, who am I supposed to fight?"
right. Pat McAfee, I think he likes it. He loves it too much. I think he'll be back.
Yeah, who
Um,
doesn't? Everybody loves Pat McAfee, not to mention especially the piss off Graves.
right. Randy Orton, I don't know what's going to happen. With Randy. I think it's either A, he's going to retire, or B, he's going to give one more year and then retire after that last year. Ricochet could go to AEW or Impact. I could see. WWE, I think what he's doing right now, he's been having one of the better runs after his NXT run. Uh, Seth freaking Rollins, he's definitely back. There's no way he's leaving.
Absolutely.
Sami Zayn's gonna. I think he'll be back. I don't think he's leaving to AEW or Impact. And we already talked about Woods earlier, but I do feel like MJF is definitely making the jump. If he gets a big paycheck, uh, Andrade could definitely come. Like I said, make LWO into a heel faction if they really wanted to, but we'll see. There's a lot of talent next year that could be coming back. We'll see. I think also, if I remember right, but let me double check and so I don't accidentally lie to somebody. I think that there is a chance that the what are they called? Can't think of what they're called. Oh, Brock Lesnar retires or his comes up next year too.
Brock Lesnar in AEW.
Yeah. Oh, also the Dudley Boys. If anybody didn't hear this, the Dudley Boys re-signed with WWE uh
Le- oh yeah, the
in
legendary
August.
status.
Yep. Let me go through here real quick. I'm looking for one certain person. Jay Uso, his expires next year. Jimmy Uso expires next year. They'll be back. There's no way they're not.
Oh no, they are selling it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Let's see. I should be getting almost through WWE. Sheamus expires next year. He'll be back. Nakamura will probably be back. He expires next year too. Crazy enough, Undertaker signed a 15-year contract in 2019, so he's with WWE till 2034, which is crazy to hear. AEW. This is what I was trying to find out. So in 2024, there's one of the wrestlers that I was looking at. Let's see. Yeah, I think. Well, they say 2026 right now, so it looks like the FTR is with AEW until 2025 or 2026. But those two are two I think will jump back to WWE, but we'll see what happens.
Mhm.
Jim Ross is actually expiring next year, so I don't know. I think he's kind of hitting his last few years in the business. Nothing against him. I just think he's talented, but I think he's getting up there in age. On Big Show, his expires in January, so we'll see if he's gonna be back or if he's gonna be um leaving. Samoa Joe, they say his expires the end of this year. He's ROH world champion right now. See Sting, he's retiring.
He
So
did announce that.
yep. We'll see what's gonna happen with that. Tony Schiavone's expiring. Um, Diana, this is another one I've been thinking about. Diana Peruzzo. I don't know if you watch Impact at all.
No, I do not.
Okay, she is very, 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 very talented. She has a great gimmick. She is probably one of the top three in Impact right now, easily. Uh, let's see, I can't think of what she's her thing, but yeah, I think she'll be back with WWE. She was in WWE for a minute, um, before COVID started. But she is very talented. She is a really good on the mic. I don't know, we'll see what happens with her. Um, Heath Slater's actually just expired, so we'll see where he's gonna go. Do you have a feeling where Heath will go?
Hmm. Hmm. I would say more a breakdown of who does he want to work with the most. I mean,
Right.
working with I mean, AEW might actually be pretty good, more freedom, but
Hmm.
with WWE historically more viewership. Not to mention now that Vince is no longer there, who knows? Maybe it'll be like,
Right.
or maybe they'll be a little bit. It's kind of their choice either way.
Yeah. Let's see here. Go through some more. We already talked about those two. New Japan. Like I
Mhm.
said, just says Will Osprey in 2024. I think that's about it. Let's see. Yep. Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of talent for wrestling coming up soon that'll be leaving. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah, Danielson, I think will I think he'll retire at the end of his contract. But do you um do you have anybody that you see that is retiring in the next few years that you think from either any of the wrestling companies?
But for right now, it's just more focused on seeing what's happening with CM Punk and everything else. I
Hmm.
mean, especially now that the WWE is kind of saying they're not going with the storyline for continuing the Uncle Howdy character in honor of Bray Wyatt, which I mean, I can understand why.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
right now, I think everybody's just focusing on seeing like what will happen in Survivor Series. Which I mean,
Hmm.
don't get me wrong, we also have Crown Jewel coming up, but
Yeah.
honestly, Survivor Series is what the one everyone's going to be focused on because
Yep.
there's going to be a lot. Not
Yeah.
just because War Games is there, because yeah, that I mean, I'm not going to lie, CM Punk could come back and I'll be like, yeah, about War Games.
Right. Yep. Yep. He'll be yeah, Chicago's November 4th, I think it's Survivor Series. So it's come up pretty quick. I think that's what they said anyway. Let me double check here. Survivor. I can tell it spell Survivor. There we go. So Survivor Series is going to, oh, I lied, November 25th, 2023. So almost in the month, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, definitely, I think it's definitely going to be confirmed if, and this is kind of like what they did with the Hardy Boys when they returned to WrestleMania. But what they did
Mm,
before that was they announced that there was a fourth team and that, oh, this is a surprise. But I think what they're going to do is if he is going to be coming to Survivor Series and it's confirmed for Survivor Series, then they're going to do a they'll need to find a fifth teammate and they just can't find it. And then right at the time of the show, they'll be like, we have our fifth, and then CM Punk comes out at that point. I think that's the way they'll do it, but we'll see.
mm, mm,
But I yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens though. I mean, it's basically in Chicago. It's a suburb of Chicago in Rosemont, but definitely talent. Also, I am actually trying to go to Royal Rumble because it's actually in Tampa, so it's not too far from me, but ticket prices are astronomical, so we'll
mm,
see.
mm, mm.
But do you have any other last thoughts?
No, no, no. This illness right now.
Okay.
Sorry about
But
that. This
no,
illness
you're
right now
good.
is really kind of doing some damage.
Yeah, I understand that. But yeah, thank you for coming on here tonight. I know it's kind of weird to do it through Twitch. We've never really done this way, so we'll see how it comes out. I might just start doing this way from now on, either Twitch or YouTube, and then just download them to YouTube or whatever.
Hmm.
And go from there. So, uh, if you want to follow Madman, you're on Kick. Are you coming? Because I had seen one of your tweets. Are you coming back to Twitch?
I'm considering it because now that Twitch is because originally I left Twitch because, well, first of all, I wanted to do work with Kick because I was thinking, hey, it's a new territory, a new
Hmm.
place to stream and everything. And then Twitch started just acting all weird, saying like originally like, oh, if you're partnered with us or affiliated with us, you cannot multi-stream. So I was like, all right, I'll drop the affiliation program because I'm not barely making any
Right.
money on there anyway. So I dropped that, which I was glad because then later Twitch made the announcement of saying, oh, if you wish to get out of your contract, you have to pay a fee, which
Hmm.
even later Kick said, we will pay that fee for you to come over. And then
Right.
later Twitch just officially announced, oh yeah, we're not allowing multi-stream for any of your statuses whatsoever. And I was just like, really? You're really gonna be that petty? So I
Yeah.
was just like, but now Twitch is kind of like backpedaling. Who knows? Maybe they're now getting a little more sense like, oh, people are actually leaving to go to another website. One that actually treats them with respect, actually listens, actually does stuff.
Right.
We may have fucked up.
Right. Definitely. Yeah.
So now that they've lifted the multi-stream ban, I may consider coming it back, especially since I do have a following on there. So
Hmm.
yes, I on Twitch I am known as I am Madman on Twitch, and just like on Kick, I am Madman on Kick.
Yep. And then Twitter also is I am Madman.
Or just Twitter.
Yeah.
No, not just Twitter, but just yeah, I am no, just I am Madman. You should be able. I think you should be able to follow me on there
Yeah. Oh
because
yeah.
I made it.
Easy.
I made it a long time ago. So let me just see if it's.
Yep. Yeah. And eventually, everybody, I'm going to start a second Twitter page. I have one right now, but I think I'm gonna make one for JDUB and Friends, so you can follow me on that. Periodically, I'm also going to probably start a second Twitch page for I am or for I am for JDUB and Friends, and I'm gonna have this one going also. So you can do so you can watch my gaming on this one. I'll starting eventually once I get everything download or get stuff update my lap or my computer or get a computer, one of the two. Gonna be doing a lot more streams, a lot more recordings. My gaming recordings will be on Soccer FW5 channel. I'll be recording video games through Twitch on Soccer FW5 channel. uh, JW and Friends will be my podcast, and then I believe I'm gonna try and do some stuff with other guests and stuff like that, which will be on a totally different channel. But we'll see. I have to open all the uh, avenues. Definitely like to do something with Madman, even gaming of some sort, or just kind of being on as one of his streams or something like that. Or him being on one of my streams talking about stuff as we're playing a game or something. So
Mm-hmm,
got a lot of stuff coming up in the future. We'll see what happens though.
mm-hmm.
So, um, but do you you're IMMA on Twitch, right? Or Twitch, Twitter, right?
Yep, I just double checked that. So,
Okay.
yep, I no, just I am Madman.
Okay. Yep. Yep. So yeah, I am Man. Thank you though for coming out tonight. I know it was kind of a different thing because we never done this way before, so we'll try it out. If you like this way and you want to come watch it, let me know in the comments of this YouTube video. If you want to come on the Twitch and watch this on there, I'll probably end up starting a new Twitch just for JDUB and friends. But we'll see. Um, then if you want to, I'll also maybe change everything up where if you want to talk to or if I have a guest on, you could pop in the Discord, ask a question real quick, and then we'll do it like that, or you can ask it in the Twitch chat. But thank you all for watching this episode of JW and Friends. Have to do another episode with you, Madman, in the future. Probably thinking about some for first person shooters, kind of talking about
Mhm.
those like Bioshock, Fallout. Got a few first person shooters that we're actually interested in. Definitely have to do some more wrestling podcasts, and also if I don't go to Royal Rumble, we're definitely doing a live reaction to the Royal Rumble this year. So we have all this set up. Thank you all again for watching, and have a great night. I'm going